Bowling Reddit camera pointed at you, Laura.
Rock and roll.
So last week was the re-debut or debut, depending on how you want to look at it, of my favorite show, Scrubs.
I've heard that.
I've loved this show since I got into it in college, and I've watched the full thing. I do not watch season 9. Season 9 does not exist. It is not a real thing. It is a figment of our imagination. I've watched the entire show 3 times straight through. I have it on DVD. I watched the extras and everything. It became like a comfort show after a breakup. It became a comfort show when I moved out to Wisconsin, and I was there by myself for 3 months before Mallory was able to follow. And like I didn't have anything else to watch. Literally had nothing else to watch. So I just threw it in the Xbox and just binged it for 3 months. Love the show. Some of the jokes have not aged great anymore 20 years later. Especially some of the how do I want to say this? The adult content around non-heterosexual relationships. They got better as later seasons went on. They did have some good moments with it. But I've like all in all loved this show, and it came back last week. They did a 2-part debut with most of the original cast. There's a few missing, and there's some that are on the original cast that are going to be like part-timers, not featured as heavily as they used to be. And they're only going to do 8 or 9 episodes, I think, this first season. But like, I'm really excited, even knowing that usually reboots don't do well. And I'm cautiously optimistic this is going to be funny. I did like the first couple episodes. I won't spoil it for those who are interested in watching it, maybe haven't yet. But they make a really good twist in the very first to second episode. It's like it's kind of the cliffhanger, I guess, even though it's a 2-part debut. So like, I don't know why you have a cliffhanger from episode 1 to 2.
So what's the plot? Give us the plot on this show. I mean, it's obviously hospital related.
Yeah, it's Grey's Anatomy, but with comedy is my take on it. Like all those hospital shows, General Hospital, ER, The Pit now is kind of like a more serious version of this. And it was funny. The Scrubs debut Wednesday last week starts with basically a fake version of The Pit. And that was, I haven't seen The Pit, but I know what it generally looks like. I've seen a couple clips online, and it was a pretty good facsimile of it, and also making fun of that type of show at the same time. And it's a coming of age show about a young doctor who's trying to figure out how to be a good doctor, also making friends and having relationships blossom and then fall apart, and blossom and fall apart, et cetera, et cetera. It's Friends, but in a doctor's, in a hospital.
That's what friends are for, Derek. That's our song.
Keep smiling.
And so like shining. What I wanted to ask you guys is
like,
is there a show out there, knowing again that reboots don't generally do well, whether it's a continuation or like a new version of the show, is there a show out there that you've always wanted redone that you like is one of your favorite shows that hasn't been done yet? Or is there one that has been done and you've been really happy with it?
What would you do? What would you do if I sang out of tune?
Wonder Years. Well, I mean, now that they're all like in their 60s now, I don't know if I want to see a reboot of Wonder Years.
Fred Savage, though, was in this Friends from College. They have 2 seasons of it. I don't know which network it's on, and he's hilarious.
Fred Savage?
He's hilarious.
I could not stand his character on Wonder Years. I liked
Kevin Arnold.
Yeah, I couldn't stand
Remember, in college, I was Winnie Cooper. Everybody thought I was Winnie Cooper.
I did have a crush on his sister, though.
Who was his sister?
Olivia Dabo.
Oh, yeah.
What was her name in the show?
Sweeney?
No. No, he could stay at Clemson. Thanks. What was her name in the show? His sister's name.
I don't remember. I can see her. Yeah. Blonde hair?
Yeah, she was like, when the show started, she was like 17, and I was like, but anyway, I can't think of a show that
Brenda does not look amused with us today.
I would want to. He's not
Doesn't
amused
help
with
that
it.
I don't know what you're talking
He
about.
drank a gallon of Tabasco sauce before the
I
show.
love Tabasco sauce.
What? Let's talk about that.
Think of a show that I would want to see rebooted, but one show that I watched, and it literally consisted of about, I think, 65 episodes, and I watched it in less than a month, was Breaking Bad. I know. That show was awesome.
Get back to that.
Breaking Bad was absolutely awesome. Vince Gilligan, the director,
so good.
He needs to be in the Hall of Fame or something for that one. I mean, that was an incredible show.
Yeah, it's super good.
I went past that house.
I know
in Albuquerque.
I know there's a name I know the title of the episode is escaping me, but the episode where they're locked in that lab with the fly, trying to kill the fly, is one of my favorite episodes because it's just an entire filler episode. It's so stupid, but it's great.
Have you seen the show itself ends with the episode where Walter White dies in like the lab where they were making the meth, and Jesse Pinkman like escapes, but they came out with kind of like a sequel. It was like an hour and 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's Jesse Pinkman after he breaks out. It's called El Camino.
I think we've talked about this before. I haven't seen that yet, and I've only seen like 2 episodes of Better Call Saul.
There's a sequel movie for Peaky Blinders coming out, and I watched that through. That would have been 2022, 23, and Bailey and I have been working through that. We're in season 3 now. Where
never seen that one either.
I started watching it, but I got stuck.
So the first season is entertaining enough, but as the seasons progress, it's just a masterpiece. And the movie that's coming out, it's going to be on Netflix, is a sequel. And Cillian Murphy, obviously, very good-looking guy, great character. Like, he's in charge. He has a son, and Barry Keoghan, the dude that cheated on Sabrina Carpenter, that guy, he's the son.
What? Who dare? Cheat on Sabrina Carpenter.
Standing here.
Yeah.
What? Shame.
Well,
shame.
Turns out his son, the movie, if you watch a trailer, his son is the villain, and he's the protagonist in this movie. Cillian Murphy is. So I'm excited for us to get through. We're at the point where.
When's the movie come out?
I think like this week or next week.
Oh, geez, I don't have time to catch up.
No, it's a good show, and we're halfway through it, and we started a few weeks ago.
So
and
what?
I was gone for 6 days.
So what is your like all-time favorite show that you'd want rebooted?
That show.
You want
so that's
that
your favorite
rebooted?
show? Is there something that you'd want rebooted then that you've watched?
You mentioned comfort shows.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good show, but it combined entertainment with like loosely NFL stuff. It was called Ballers. It had Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It was HBO. It was a very there wasn't much substance to that show other than like the typical male masculine football things.
The Rock.
And I have that on DVD too. And it's funny, that's the only show I had. Like, I would play it on my PS2 when I lived in the apartment by myself and couldn't afford Wi-Fi. And that's what I would watch when I was bored. So I'm not sure they need to reboot that show. There wasn't anything special about it. Like, he went from being a player to owning the Kansas City Chiefs, which is, unless you're LeBron, that's not happening. Yeah. But yeah, that would be my show.
He's keeping a secret. He absolutely wants to see Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, of course he does.
You know what? I actually should go and watch that show once. Like that was on when I was
Sarah
a kid.
Michelle Gellar, man.
I know. I would have been like the peak audit, like the key audience there, like 10 to 21-year-old demo. Like I was right there when that was in its heyday, and I've never watched it.
Practical Jokers.
Ah,
that'd be a good one.
I can't do that stuff.
Have you watched it?
I don't know. Whenever I see like America's Funniest Videos, the newer one, I just don't. It's not the same as when we were kids and
with
it was
Bob
on.
Saget. Yep.
It's just not.
And Practical Jokers was when they would go. It was like the four friends, and they would go like mess with people.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Dare each other to go do something.
Yeah,
like
say
and they're in
something
each other's
completely
earpieces
ridiculous.
and stuff.
Yeah,
I get why it's funny for some people, but I've learned through watching clips of. I legitimately learned through watching clips of that. I get secondhand embarrassment from certain forms of media, so like I can't watch that because I'm just sitting there the entire time and like contorting myself on the couch, just like this is making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And my wife will sit there and be like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, I can't do this, and I need to do a lap for that. I'm sorry, Laura.
It's all right. Terry Hanratty. We love you, Terry.
Terry.
We love you, Terry.
I am Butler Eagle Sports writer Derek Pida, and here with me today are fellow sports writer Brendan Howe and Eagle Sports editor Jake Murda Adams. This is Season 2 of the Alter Eagles Eye on Sports. We have some big-time basketball to talk about. I mean, I'm talking not just playoff basketball. We're talking district championship basketball. This past week, Knoch boys played in and won the 4A championship in the Whitbill. Karn City girls played in and won the District 9 3A championship. And Slippery Rock girls played in and lost the 4A championship in District 10. The first of these games that were played was Knoch Boys Thursday night at 9 o'clock at the Pete down at Pitt. Knoch won the game 48-35. They have now given up, in 4 Whitbill playoff games, they've given up 126 points. Brendan,
You're a math major.
Mr. Calculator, that's less than 32 points a game. We're talking playoff basketball here. So
Playoff defense.
Playoff defense. I mean, they're entering the state playoffs obviously on a winning streak, and they're doing well on the offensive end. But to me, the most impressive thing about their play lately has been their defense. They did have Derek Lang, Roman DeFelice, and Liam Avon combined to score 35 points, and they needed that because Tegan Finnegan, as you know, is recently became Knoch's all-time leading scorer. He was held to 7 points, but all year, Joe Lafko, their head coach, has told me, we're not just a team with a big-time scorer and a bunch of other guys around him. I mean, they have kids who can pick up the slack when somebody has a down game offensively. And Tegan Finnegan, who's averaging about 16 a game, he's held to 7, but his teammates around him, they got a very strong starting 5, and 3 of his teammates combined to score 35 points. I do find it interesting also that their first-round state opponent, which is this Friday, is District 10's Girard. Girard does not score a ton of points. I looked at their schedule last night. The Yellow Jackets have reached 60 points in a game 10 times this year, but only 3 times in the last 12 games. So it's not like they're going up against a team, Knoch, that is really good on the offensive end. They're going up against a team that looks like they do enough on offense. Obviously, they get some good defensive play, and they've been able to pull games out. Girard, by the way, is the 5th-place team out of District 10.
Mm-hmm.
Knoch's defense is going up against it, and they've played teams that are used to. Jake, you mentioned this earlier. They just played a Quaker Valley team in the championship for Whitbill. Mm-hmm. Quaker Valley was averaging what, 65?
Yeah, I'd have to
game,
guess. I don't have it off the top of my head.
I think it's 65 points a game, and they held them to 35. So when you got a defense that's able to hold really good offensive teams down, and now they're preparing to play a team that is okay on offense, nothing great, I would think that Knoch's definitely the favored team here. We'll see how things turn out. That game is Friday down at Knoch High School in Saxonburg. And Jake, you're going to talk about Karn City now.
Yeah, that was my first trip to the vaunted halls of Clarion University, home of one Derek Pia'a and one Laura Crago. Awesome gym to be in. I haven't been there before. It was cool to see the giant scoreboard that they have above the one basketball, above the one hoop, which is just playing the entire time, not doing replays or anything like that, just playing, which is a cool view. Good crowd on both ends. Hannah Daly wins MVP, 13 points. She had a couple rebounds, 3 assists, I think it is, two steals, I believe she had 2. There was no offensive star. Karn City struggled to get. They were getting plenty of shots off in the first half, but they were struggling to make anything. So looking ahead, if this team's going to have success and make a longer run in the state playoffs, which they've made it to the second round, I believe twice since their state championship in 2000. One of them was last year, and during this 4 straight district championship run that they're on, they were knocked out in the first round twice, made the second round last year and lost. If they're going to get to the second round or farther, they're going to have to hit more shots consistently, but their defense is phenomenal. Taylor Ritzer, the freshman guard who we've been kind of praising on the show off and on and in the paper a little bit, played phenomenal defense against Darian Weiner, the sophomore point guard for Cranberry. Held her to 2 points. This is a guard who has given them trouble before in these games, and 2 points. She was a non-existent that game. And then you have Hannah Daly just providing kind of a steadying presence. Naomi Vaneski was kind of held in check. She had 10 points in the game, which was second on the team or tied for second on the team, but she wasn't very dominant. They had her playing low in the post, and Cranberry did a really good job with their zone defense of just balling her up. Second half, she got a little bit more open because they kind of started playing 5 out. And that opened some things up a little bit. Plus, once the score got into double-digit lead for Karn City, Cranberry had to try to open things up a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive on defense, try to get some steals and create some transition points, and he just didn't have success. But for Hannah Daly, 4 straight state title or district titles in basketball, along with Naomi Vaneski. They're now just two of 4 players in Karn City history to do that in basketball, according to Steve Andrasey. Hannah is also a 4-time district soccer champion. That program's won 27 of the last 30 titles.
Something like that crazy.
We've lost count at this point. They've won more titles than Brendan's been old. So she has 8 district titles, which is a crazy story. Like Steve brought that up too in the post-game press conference. There are athletes out there who will win multiple district titles in multiple sports, but I don't think I've ever heard of a girl or guy winning 4 each in 2 sports. So really cool story for her. She's not really their star, but on this afternoon, she was their best player. She was really steadying presence for them. They'll face Seton LaSalle, the District 7 4 seed, on Friday. Game's going to be at Montauk. I'm not quite sure what that is. My guess is just Montauk has a slightly better gym maybe for hosting a game like that. Most of the PIAA first round games are home team or higher seed hosts, but there are a few exceptions to this, and Karn City is one of them. One player to watch for Seton LaSalle is freshman guard Ava Maroney. From what I could tell, looking at some stats, she was averaging late in the regular season a little bit over 17.5 points. I don't know what her stats are the rest of the way, but she's clearly their scoring leader. Karn City's defense, we know, is really good at bottling teams up, so that'll be kind of an interesting one-on-one matchup, or maybe couple-on-one matchup to follow. If they are able to control or keep her in check, they've got a good chance of winning that game.
I will be there Friday night at Montauk, Cherry Township. Catch my story in the weekend's paper. Slippery Rock girls playing at Meadville High School on Saturday, facing Harbor Creek, the defending District 10 champion. And the Rockets had a 1-point lead with less than a minute to go, but a player for Harbor Creek, I believe her name was Ella Thompson, scored the last 6 points of the game, including 4 at the line for the Huskies, and the Rockets ended up falling 49-46. One bright spot, I got to believe Jeff Steele's looking at it this way, the head coach for Slippery Rock. He had 3 players, Madison Romanovich, Brielle Jordan, and Vanessa Hinkle, combined to score 40 points. Now that they're into the state playoffs, if they want to make a run, and they play Elizabeth Forward Saturday at home, 6 o'clock, Elizabeth Forward, the 4th-place team out of the Whitbill. If they're going to make a run in the playoffs, the Rockets have to get balanced scoring. They can't have a situation where Madison Romanovich scores 20 and the rest of the team combines for 15. They need to have balanced scoring, and they are coming off a game, albeit in a loss, where 3 girls scored in double digits. Elizabeth Forward, by the way, just lost recently to North Catholic in the Whitbill consolation game. Had North Catholic lost that game, Slippery Rock would be playing North Catholic, which would have been really cool, 2 local teams. But Slippery Rock's already done better than they did last year. Last year, 18-8, finished 4th in District 10, lost in the first round of states. This year, they're 19-5 now. They finished runner-up in District 10, and obviously have a chance to make a state run. We'll see how things turn out here. But other state playoff matchups Friday involving our local teams. This is boys, 7-3, 3rd-place team out of the Whitbill, North Catholic, at 2nd-place team out of District 10, Sharon. That should be a good game. Both teams can score a lot of points. And Saturday we have Seneca Valley's boys in 6A going out to not far from your old stomping grounds, Jake. 3rd-place team out of District 3, Red Lion.
Yep.
And
not going to be confused with Redland, for those who know.
There's a Red Lion and a Redland. Seneca Valley boys are playing Red Lion. And also on Saturday, North Catholic's girls, the 3rd-place team from the Whitbill, hosting the 2nd-place team out of District 6, Forest Hills. One thing, we talked about this on the show recently, Knoch boys, North Catholic boys, played each other 3 times already this year. Twice in the regular season, and they split those 2 matchups. Then they played each other in the Whitbill playoffs. Knoch won that one easily. If they both win their first-round matchup early next week, they will be facing each other for the 4th time this year, and I'm rooting for it, man.
Yeah.
I like games with big storylines behind them, and that would be a huge storyline. Section foes, they've both proven that they can beat each other, and to meet for the 4th time where you win, you go to the state, I guess that would be the quarterfinals, and if you lose, you go home. I'm absolutely rooting for that game. So go Trojans and go Knights this weekend.
This show won't drop until after the second round. Not this episode, but next week's episode won't drop until after that second round game would play. So early prognostication, assuming North Catholic and Knoch, which are probably the favorites in those games, make it to the second round. Who are you picking in that second round game?
Jeez, put me on the spot. I would go with.
Wait, I need the Jeopardy sound. You can keep going.
I would go with. I got to be honest with you here. I got to go with North Catholic.
Ooh, you think they'll get some revenge?
I just think that last game, which Knoch won handily against North Catholic in the Whitbill playoffs, I got to think that North Catholic's going to play much better. And again,
Brendan's shaking his head no.
Here's the thing: North Catholic, if they do win a fourth matchup against Knoch, the season series would be tied 2-2. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this is the state playoffs, so at that point, North Catholic would be moving on, and Knoch would be going home. But if they do face each other, I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be more reminiscent of the two regular season games, which were really close, as opposed to the blowout which Knoch won in the Whitbill playoffs.
From my sample size, and I'm not criticizing anybody, what I've seen out of North Catholic, I covered them against Elizabeth Forward in the Whitbill playoffs, and then against Knoch. I feel like they have three guys who can score consistently.
Mm-hmm.
She has to make faces. My point here is Knoch has those two guys, two big guys in the middle, in Derek Lang and Lee Mavon, and North Catholic could not get past them or crack them to get into the paint and shoot. They were shooting mid-range shots that were not going down, and that sort of contributed itself to it. But I think Knoch as a complete team. They have twitchy guards. They have those two big guys who can also score and are athletic. I just don't see North Catholic being able to get by them.
You're specifically talking about the playoff game that you covered, though.
Mm-hmm.
The second regular season game, which was played about a week before the regular season ended, they were hitting those outside shots. They didn't have to really worry about getting inside because, I mean, you could say if you're living and dying by the outside shot, that day North Catholic died. But in the last regular season game they played against each other, they lived. They won 61-55.
I've found, covering high school basketball for a decade, that especially those like deeper mid-range jumpers, not so much from three, because usually like at the high school level you have a three-point specialist, so you're feeding him the ball, maybe two or three kids that get that green light. But those mid-range jumpers where everyone settles for because of that, tight zone defense inside where it's hard to penetrate or because of size or whatever, that is such a streaky thing that if you start to make a couple early, it feeds into itself. But if you miss a couple early, it feeds into itself because it creates. I know. Yeah.
Are we talking momentum here?
I'm not talking momentum.
Are we talking momentum? That's Jake's favorite word.
I walked myself into that, and I'm just going to leave. No, you see it happen a lot where it's just like that basket gets tighter and tighter and tighter in your vision, or it becomes the size of a pool, is the cliche. And I think I'm curious to see, Brendan saw one version of it. You saw the other version of it. I guess it kind of comes down to which ends up playing out next time.
We gave our pick. Who would you pick?
I think I agree with you. It's going to be a lot closer. I don't think Knoch's going to win that game by 27 points. I think it was in the district quarterfinal.
Playoff, yeah.
I'm going to say Knoch at this point, but I don't have the chance to correct myself here because this won't drop until after those shows or those games, that game is played. It also depends, I guess, a little bit on what they look like after their first round games. If there's an injury or there's, North Catholic just changes something up and dominates that first round game, maybe they go in with, I guess season-wise, a little bit more of momentum and maybe it plays out a little bit differently. I got a pop quiz for Brendan, though. What's the mascot for Red Lion?
Lions.
I wanted to see if I could trick him.
Is it the Lions?
It's the Lions.
That's original.
I wanted to see if I could trick him.
Yeah, I was like, even I could tell you what that was.
It's like the cranberry berries.
Yeah, there's a couple out there where you're like, okay, Moon is the Tigers. Come on. Like, we got to be better than that. But Mars is the planet.
Speaking of Moon.
I love that. Mars is the planets. I just think it's so
great.
cool.
When we came into the season, my focus on Knoch was they lost who I thought was their best player. And they ended up winning. That was my first thought when I saw they won the Whitfield Championship is Bowman leaves, and then that team does
Knoch
what it
wins, yeah.
did. So
Moon finished, I believe, 4th in 5A.
Yeah.
So they're in the state playoffs too, but they're going to the state playoffs as a fourth place team.
Watch they go farther than North Catholic and Knoch.
Well, let's not forget. I mean, Alan Bauman. I mean, I think he proved while he was at Knoch, he's a very good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Lafko is a legendary coach. Over 1,000 wins, I believe, at in his career. Warren, Hampton,
only 1,000 more than me.
I don't want to discount his contribution to that team. They're a team with an incredibly strong starting five, and he's found a way to make it work with those kids. Obviously, the kids are the
can't
ones.
get over the fact that he played that starting five up until 1:16 was left in that quarterfinal game or semifinal game. That was ridiculous. Like, those kids
30 minutes.
have to be crazy conditioned to do that, and they weren't tired. They wanted to play the whole game.
So who do you guys, I'll throw another one at you. Who do you guys think will be our last team standing? Last year we had North Catholic's boys and girls team, which neither of them won the district final either, make it to the state semifinals as I believe 3rd seed and 2nd seed. Did one of them go to the final last year? No, they both lost or made it to the bronze medal game. So 3rd and 4th seed, I believe, last year makes it to the state semifinals. Knoch obviously wasn't there. Carn City gets knocked out in the 2nd round. Who do you have being the last one standing?
I just have North Catholic beating Knoch by a half a point in the state 2nd round. So I'm going to go with North Catholic Boys.
I'll bet you a Chipotle Bowl that is the Knoch boys team.
Knoch boys? Are you betting him Chipotle Bowl or me? Okay.
I still need one from you.
I was going to say, hold on a second. I think at this point we all get Chipotle from Jay.
You saw this is my deal. This is my deal. So in 2 weeks we're gonna have the March Madness brackets out. Selection
Brown
Sunday
rice, black
is
beans,
the
chicken.
15th or whatever that is. 2 Sundays from now is Selection Sunday. That Monday we'll do a March Madness-ish. Actually, we can't. We will do a March Madness bracket for like the Sweet 16 and on for weekend 2 and on. And I will give you the Chipotle Bowl then, because then there will be a bet for that one as well. Whoever
we should
wins,
eat them on the show because we're trying to get Chipotle as
I'm going to stop at
sponsor.
Fortune Star, and that's where
whoever wins the March
Someone
Madness
drive
bracket,
out the Rudders for Derek. Get him some coleslaw and shrimp.
whoever wins our show March Madness bracket will get a lunch of their choosing as well. So you will get your lunch the day that we set up another bet for another lunch.
It's on
That's
tape
the deal.
now, Brennan. It's on tape.
So you have to be there for that show. No more of this remote stuff. Calling into the show. No, I'm just picking on you.
We also had a big 2 days of swimming down at Pitt this past week. Thursday and Friday at Trees Pool. I was there both days. AAA meet in the morning, AA meet at night. And our one winner, one gold medalist in the Whitbill, Mr. Dom Davis from Mars. He actually is a sophomore at North Catholic, but he swims for Mars as part of a co-op. He won the 50-yard freestyle. And the next day on Friday, he placed 2nd in the 100 free. So the way state swimming's set up now, only district champions are guaranteed a spot at states. But when you finish 2nd in the Whitbill, I got to believe that 100 time, which was, by the way, only 7/100ths of a second. 7/100ths of a second from winning a title for him in that event. He's going to get the states in that. The Whitbill's a pretty strong.
There's no way there's 31 kids in between that.
No, so he's going to be swimming at states in 2 events, 2 individual events, and he's just a sophomore. And I didn't find this out until I talked to him last week. His entire freshman season was wiped out because he had a skiing accident and he injured his shoulder. I guess this would have been in like November, early December of 2024. So his entire freshman year was wiped out, and he's come back and done really well. District 7 champion now in the 50 freestyle, runner-up in the 100 free. He's going to be swimming at states. Another storyline that came out of the Whitbill meet was Knox senior Adrian Lavarini. Brennan, you're familiar with him. He took 2nd in Whitbill AA in the 200 IM, came back the next day and finished 3rd in the breaststroke with a school record time of 57.99 seconds. He also teamed with Aiden Smith, Brady Bleitcher, and Mikhail Booser to take 6th in the 400 freestyle relay with a school record time of 3 minutes, 22.33 seconds. So he was part of 2 school records there. It just proves that you go to Whitbills, obviously you'd love to win, but there's a lot of stories that come out of that don't involve people that actually finish first place in their events. And that brings me to this one. This was a really cool story that I got. It would have been in Friday's paper because it was Thursday's meet. Mars senior Preston Haynes, last year as a junior, he medaled on a relay team for the Planets, but had never medaled individually. He came into the Class 3A 200 freestyle, seated 17th. And I got to be honest with you, I went through the seeds coming up, and I saw him. I highlighted all the local kids, but when I saw that he was seated 17th, I figured, okay, I'm not going to be talking to this
My
kid.
system is like highlight and then star the kid you think you're actually going to be focusing on. Yeah.
Exactly. And he goes from seated 17th in the 200 freestyle to placing 8th, which earns him a medal because the top 8 medal. And it was his first individual Whitfield medal. And I talked to him after he got off the podium, and he was just like, I can't tell you how happy I am to medal at 3A. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's swimmers that, they go down there to pit, and if they finish 8th in an event and get a medal, it's a disappointment because they were seated 1, 2, or 3. Mm-hmm. He was seated 17th, and he made a huge jump, and it was really cool to see his enthusiasm over medaling. And Preston Haynes, senior, this is obviously his last Whitfield meet, and it was really cool to see him achieve something that people, including me, didn't think he really had a shot at. I thought he, if you jump up a few places, 17th, you finish 12th or 13th, great, but you still don't get a medal. He earned a medal, and it was really cool to talk to him.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit of a down year from what we've kind of been talking about with swimming in terms of like the local top-end talent, but it's always good to see, someone kind of rise above or just kind of step in it one day and have a really great day that they weren't necessarily expecting. And we'll have a few of them, plus probably some Slippery Rock swimmers from District 10 making the trip to Bucknell University in 2 weeks.
Bucknell, Kenny Natatorium. Brendan, you're normally our swimming guy. How much did you miss covering the Whitfield meet this year?
Well, you sell it pretty well with the stories you mentioned. No, I've always said time and again that I think swimming, cross country, track, all of that is sometimes more interesting to cover than other sports because the kids kind of show more personality. Like you have to ask them more about. You're not asking somebody who's running a touchdown in a football game, 75 yards. What was going through your head as you ran? Mm-hmm. No, when you ask a swimmer, I wrote a story last year. It's like, what goes through your head when you swim the 500? You're there for 10 minutes. What are you doing? Singing, thinking about homework, that sort of stuff. So, I can't say I missed it, but you sell it pretty well.
Well,
I've been at it for a while. Thank you. Brendan.
It's a great transition, but
Speaking
let's keep
of
it for next time.
highly sought after football prospects, your question is, what Steelers quarterback led the team in passing yards during the 1980s?
1980s.
Before you were born.
8,582 yards.
Cordell Stewart.
That's a decade. That's a decade I'm very unfamiliar with the Steelers. I'll think, but I'm probably not getting this one for anyone who thinks I am.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So while Brendan's the mouse is running the wheel in Brendan's head there, it's time for our Beyond Butler segment, where we talk about something outside of Butler County, whether it be professional or college sports. And this week it was pretty much a no-brainer for us because Brendan, our own Brendan Howe, just returned from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. So a lot of people out there obviously are Steeler fans who watch us. So what came out of that? What's your take on the NFL Combine when it comes to the Steelers?
We still have top 30 visits and that sort of thing to go through before the draft and pro days and stuff. But I think that this past week gave us a pretty good idea of who the Steelers are looking at in the first round, whether they're after a quarterback early, and if there's some wild card positions they could go after in the first 2 to 3 rounds. So a lot of the Combine was interviews and standing around and waiting for interviews. It's at the convention center, which is where the RCA Dome used to be. This convention center is massive. Like I'm telling you, I probably walked 8 miles a day every day I was out there in terms of the interview room downstairs and then the media room was upstairs. But a lot of it was asking these prospects questions about themselves, like the typical, what's the most underrated part of your game? Have you talked to this team? Have you talked to this team? Have you talked to this team? I heard that question probably 600 times while I was out there and had to ask it a few times myself. But the Steelers really focused on talking to receivers while they're out there. They talked to, from what I remember, I think 13 or 14 different receivers, which shows that they are very heavily interested in kind of bolstering that room alongside DK Metcalf. They talked to like the usual suspects who you see in all these mock drafts, and Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, Mekhi Lemon. I'm not sure if you saw the like internet talking about his interview. Did you see that?
I heard about it, but I haven't.
The USC
heard
receiver.
it.
So people think that he like tanked his interviews on purpose, and that he seems to be a very interesting individual just based on
Diva.
You can say that, yeah. Denzel Boston, who has been mocked to go to the Steelers in plenty of mock drafts, was written about him a ton. He's from Washington. Seems like the nicest football player I've ever seen in my life. Like there's like 25, 30 reporters standing around him asking him questions. There's one all the way in the back that was trying to ask a question for 2 to 3 minutes, like trying to yell it out and getting talked over. And finally, Denzel Boston stops the interview. Someone tries to ask a question. He's like, "What? 1 second," and he like points like, "You've been trying to ask a question for like 2 to 3 minutes now, so please ask a question." I'd never seen that before. I've never seen that from a high school kid. I've never seen that from a professional player in any sort, college players. I thought that was really cool. But I stayed the extra day on Saturday as my boss left to come home. He left me in charge of talking to the offensive lineman, who Steelers might be looking for a guard, being that Isaac Samalo is a free agent, might have to overpay to get him. He might be out. He's getting up there in age. I talked to a number of offensive linemen, but the ones that told me they formally interviewed with the Steelers, there's formal and informal meetings. Formal ones are the important ones. The guards I talked to that said that they've both talked to the Steelers are Emmanuel, it's either Pregnon or Pregnon. I don't know which one. He's from Oregon. He's a USC transfer, originally played at Wyoming. And Chase Basantis, a Texas A&M guy who's from New Jersey. They've both talked to the Steelers. NFL mock draft database has them at 40 and 46 overall, which you figure is possibly late first round. Probably not with the Steelers pick. I feel like that'd be a reach, but early second round, maybe if they fall, if the Steelers trade back somehow in the first round. Then Max Iheanacho, who is probably the most interesting guy I talked to there. He moved to the U.S. from Nigeria when he was 13, and he didn't play football until junior college. He played basketball before that because his high school did not offer football. So now he is the number 39 overall player, according to this website, that he could go late first round. It's a very tackle-heavy draft with, I think, 4 or 5 guys are in front of him. Yeah, 5 guys. So I think we have a general idea. They talked to some quarterbacks, Drew Aller from Penn State, who I know you're familiar with, Ty Simpson from Alabama, Carson Beck from Miami, played the national championship. So this was the early stages of seeing who they'd be interested in, like confirming that interest. But I think that this draft is going to be very interesting in terms of adding talent and seeing where this team goes in the future.
In terms of the Steelers, where they are, give yourself some flexibility if you think they might trade up a little or back a little. It's not like they're going to jump to number 2 from the 21st overall pick. Were there 2 or 3 guys here, if the draft was held this week, that you could circle and say, I think the Steelers would go one of these 3 guys at 21 or thereabouts?
I think it'd be all 3 receivers. I think it'd be Denzel Boston from Washington, Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M, and then whatever other receiver is there. There's a ton of receivers there in the first round. Zachariah Branch is an option. I talked to him. He's a very fast, twitchy receiver. And another note is, being that they talked to so many receivers, they didn't just talk to 5-10 receivers. They talked to almost 15 of them.
Yeah, they're going depth too, mid-round, stuff like that.
They only have Roman Wilson and Ben Skowronek and DK Metcalf under contract at receiver next year. Calvin Austin's a free agent. I think this says that Calvin Austin's time in Pittsburgh is coming to an end, and they kind of want to go younger, and they know what they have in Calvin Austin, but also they might want to go a different direction, especially under a new coach who maybe isn't a huge fan. I mean, we've seen Randall Cobb, we've seen Jordy Nelson, but maybe Mike McCarthy doesn't want Calvin Austin to be part of those future plans there.
When is Aaron Rodgers going to give the Steelers, hey, I'm playing this year or I'm not? When is that coming?
Yeah, come on.
When can we find out?
So the media
Buttons.
actually had lunch with Mike McCarthy. I don't know what restaurant or hotel it was, but someone brought up Rodgers' name. And Mike McCarthy, even though it was off the record, did not give any indication as to what Aaron Rodgers is doing. He just said that he's letting Aaron Rodgers make his decision. He's at the point, and he said this on the radio several times, so it's nothing new, that Aaron Rodgers is at the point where you need to take some time off after a season, especially after quarterback. It's a lot.
They lost a playoff game on January 12th.
Yeah, and it's March 2nd.
Come on!
And also the draft's coming up. So
It's like Heinz ketchup coming slowly out of the bottle
no matter how much
your burger.
you get that angle and you hit that 45 or 47, it doesn't matter.
Last question. You talked a lot about like the interview process and stuff like that, but just give us like 20, 30 seconds on just the experience, like being out on the field there, seeing the drills happen. This was your first time going to the combine. So what was it like in a quick summation?
So a lot of the reporters don't go see workouts. I went just to kind of see the stadium, which is gorgeous. It was a fun time. I sat there and I wrote just for the ambience. But I left from my game at Union on whatever night that was, Wednesday night, I think. Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. And I had to drive an hour and a half home, packed, and I left straight from there and drove through the night there. I got there at 5:15, fell asleep at 5:45, woke up at 7 a.m., and I think I just caught up on sleep today. So it was a very busy. It was napping, staying out late, which I'm usually not a big fan of. Like, I go to sleep early, and if I don't go to sleep early, I'm writing, which is different than staying out and drinking and talking. So, yeah, overall, pretty cool experience.
What's Indianapolis known for food-wise? I mean, you got Buffalo with the wings.
St. Elmo's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Wow.
I went there. I had filet mignon for the first time.
At St. Elmo's?
What?
No.
Philip
Wait.
Mignon.
Big question. How did you? What was the temperature? How'd you get
I had
cooked?
it medium well.
Oh,
Which
you
usually
and I are gonna fight.
Usually I get a
That's
medium rare. I said
sacrilegious.
it wrong. It was still good. It was
A fillet is thick, and your body processes. We've talked about this before. I took a steak class when I worked in Manhattan. Your body processes meat better on a rare level because we are carnivores.
I usually have it medium rare, so we're good. Yeah. I
Never get a fillet again.
I had a medium rare
Over
ribeye.
medium.
That night I had steak twice in one day. I had a filet mignon
that's a
for
lot.
lunch, and I had a medium rare 10-ounce ribeye from St. Elmo's.
So you did the ribeye medium rare, but you did the fillet medium.
I
Bro, we
messed
need
up.
to
My dad gets it medium well, so I am so programmed
Well,
to say
your dad
medium well. Yeah.
isn't your stomach.
It's a dad thing. My dad gets medium well.
It's a generation
It
thing.
tastes so
It
much
is.
better medium rare.
Mine,
Yeah, I agree.
My mom used to order steaks, and she'd tell the waitress, "You can burn it."
Yeah.
So
I
normally
had a
when
friend-
someone would order it that way, they would butterfly it, which just really takes all the flavor out because then it's even thinner. I digress.
they're popular for having a shrimp cocktail that
Yep.
they said is 75%. I forget what it is, but it's super spicy, and it's like a rookie rite of passage for first time covering the combine, where they order that, they make you take a big dip of it and eat it, and it tasted like eating rubbing alcohol.
So the cocktail sauce has extra horseradish in it?
Horseradish. That's
It's
what it
horseradish.
was.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love horseradish. I eat it
It
raw.
was gross.
Nope.
It
What?
was disgusting.
Shh. Get out of
No.
here. Derek, are you with me?
Horseradish is awesome.
Yes, Derek.
You also eat like onions and
Onions are good, man.
I don't even know what else, just cooked for dinner sometimes.
Onions are good.
So-
What are you
Onions are
talking
great.
about? Okay.
Anyways.
Brandon, it's time for you to miss a trivia question here. What Steeler led the team in passing yards during the 1980s with 8,582 yards?
Mark Malone.
He got it. He nailed it.
Wow.
All right. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
As the
okay.
outsider, I didn't even know who that was. I
Jeez,
legitimately
Liz.
do not know who that is.
Brendan. So 4-3 now,
The
right?
high point of Mark Malone's career was the 85 opener against the Indianapolis Colts, threw 5 touchdowns.
I mean,
And after
this
that,
guy.
it was
How are you not a commentator for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
they didn't hire me.
Not that we don't want you here, but like you're the bonus for us. But
Yeah, thanks.
seriously,
Should go work in the historical records department.
you could
Or for
be like
KDKA.
Myron Cope.
Yeah.
You could be
You'd be
live.
great,
You
like,
would
at
be
NFL.
so great
What would be your
live. You
catchphrase,
would.
Derek?
You want
What
me to
would
get
be
you a
your
side
catchphrase?
gig? Let's get Derek a side gig.
Sidecar.
No, what would your catchphrase be?
Yeah, what would it be?
don't know.
For like
I
a
haven't thought
touchdown.
about that.
Think about it.
No.
He shoots, he scores. I don't know.
No.
Look, we talked about basketball. We talked about swimming. We got one more winter sport to talk about. Of course, that's wrestling. And Jake has been keeping tabs on it for us. We're now done with districts. We're done with regionals, and we have states coming up. Jake.
Loving all the paper sounds.
I'm being a newsman. You've ruined the joke, Laura.
Walter Cronkite.
I'm glad Derek didn't yell at me for taking his papers there. Well, we got 4 going to states this week. Santino Sloboda, no surprise there from Butler. He's going to be there. He's at 171 wins, 4 off the county record. He, at best, can tie it, basically. He's going for his first state title. I believe it would be our first ever state title if he were to do it in the county, right?
Herrera Rondon won like 3, I believe.
3 state titles? Okay. He would be the first from Butler to do it.
First from Butler, yes.
And along with that, we'll have Sutton Stoner. He medically forfeited his 3rd place bout. This was kind of like a good comeback story. He missed regionals last week at districts. He finished 8th, lost the 7th place match in kind of a tough situation. But he got into regionals because the guy who finished 6th had to medically forfeit. I believe there was an upper body injury of some sort that I didn't get confirmed. So Sutton gets in. Wasn't supposed to be there. Runs through the blood rounds after getting knocked out of the championship rounds early and gets to the consolation semifinals, which basically locks up a spot for him. He wins that, goes to the 3rd place game or 3rd place match, but he goes to the 3rd place match because he got knocked out in his consolation semi. His coach, his dad, sent me the video of that. He gets slammed. It doesn't look all that bad, but he gets knocked out. And because he can't finish, his opponent loses because you can't. In wrestling, you can't beat someone up to the point where they can't compete.
What?
That would be a loss, especially if it's a legal move. So he gets into the 3rd place match. They just decide they don't wrestle him. He finishes 4th. He's going to states. This was kind of the hope for him all along. If he could get to Hershey, that was the win because he had such a tough time just staying healthy for years and even having success in the postseason. So this has been kind of a miracle run. Both of them are best friends. They're going to be making the trip together to Hershey. I will be following along as well. I'll be there Friday and Saturday covering all day. Going to have a live blog out Friday and Saturday, assuming we have wrestlers still competing in multiples, preferably too, so that way we can have some updates from some of those earlier rounds. So be sure to follow butlereagle.com all day Friday and all day Saturday for updates. Try to get some video highlights out there. PIAA does have some restrictions on what you can and can't post or how much you can. So I'll try to do what I can there, but you will have coverage all day plus recap stuff as well in the paper in the weekend edition and then in the Monday edition. Joining them too is Slippery Rock's 160-pounder in 2A, Zach Tuberville, who won districts for the first time. He made it out of regionals for the first time, so this is his first state championship appearance. He's the number 6 seed in the state. He's going to have a pretty interesting matchup there in the in the second round. He would be going up against Bishop McCourt's Melvin Miller, the number 1 seed in the state in 2A at 160 pounds. So probably going to be a difficult task for him to be in contention for the gold medal, but we'll see. He's had a pretty impressive season so far. And then joining them will be on the girls' side, one girl for us, Seneca Valley's Hannah Hornick at 190 pounds, number 8 ranked wrestler in the state. She's going to open with number 7's Souderton's McKenna Atkinson. But on deck is going to be the top seed in the state, Northwestern's Charlie Ray, a freshman at 190 pounds. She's been dominant all season. Charlie Ray is on the opposite side of the bracket, so she'd actually get to avoid her for a little bit, which is good. But it's a really difficult bracket there at 190. Hannah had a really good regional. She finished 4th, looked really good. She has some trouble at times with certain wrestlers like Plum's. Elena Clayson is the number 3 seed. Or is the number 3 ranked wrestler, but she appears to be out. She's not in the state brackets this year. I didn't see her. I guess there was an injury at some point in regionals. So that'll be potentially one opponent that has Hornick's number that won't be there.
She defeated Hannah in the Whitbill championship bout.
Yeah, and handily too. And they're good friends, as you documented in that story. Yeah. They train together a lot. Going back to the Butler kids, Santino Sloboda, he's going to have a first-round bye. He'll probably get Bethlehem Catholic's number 11 ranked Andre Serrato, and the number 1 ranked wrestler in the state is obviously on the opposite side of the bracket because Santino is number 2. They won't face each other till the final. That's Emmaus's Emilio Albanese. That could be, or actually no, sorry, they're on the same side of the bracket. That could be a semifinal matchup, which would be the same situation basically that Santino faced last year. He made it to the state semis and lost to a Northampton kid, also from District 11 like Emmaus, in the semifinal, who I believe it was a number 3 versus number 2 matchup effectively in terms of the state rankings, not necessarily the seeding. Stoner, he'll have the number 9 ranked kid, Parkland's George Moya. It may be Jorge, but it's spelled George. And number 2 Central York's Nathaniel Replogiel is up next. So again, difficult situation for Stoner to try to advance deep into the championship rounds, but we've seen him have some success in those blood rounds. We do have 4. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Obviously, Santino is our headliner for this. He's trying to win state championship for the first time after a bronze last year, and I think medals his freshman and sophomore season as well. So, like I said, stay tuned for coverage Friday and Saturday from this. I will be there in person watching the action.
Bring back a chocolate bar.
Santino is now
I will
at
try.
171 career wins.
Yep.
Zach Turberville for Slippery Rock, he's a senior, so this will be his final competition. 127 wins, 6 shy of the school record, which I don't think he's going to wrestle enough out there to get that. But great career for Zach, too, as well, coming off his first District 10 championship.
And 3 of them are seniors, and I believe Hannah's a junior, if I'm not mistaken.
Hannah's a senior.
Hannah's a senior. So all 4, this is their last big shot. We could be coming away with 1 to 4 medals. I would say Zach's got a good shot to medals. Santino's virtually a lock. And Hannah is probably our next best there. I think Sutton's going to have a difficult time getting on the podium, but he could be around into Saturday. We'll see.
Enjoy your trip.
I will. I'll be catching up with some friends, hopefully, and having some fun. We'll see you next week.
We encourage you to subscribe to the Butler Eagle YouTube channel and Apple or Spotify podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Alter Eagle Podcast and at Butler Eagle News. Goodbye.